Okay, I'm here with Patrick Archibald. He was a storyboard on season 2 for Gargoyles, and we're going to talk about Gargoyles since it's the 30th anniversary. So I'm asking everyone first, do you know the history of Gargoyles, or was this new to you when you first got to the show?
The history I'd seen the first season being in the industry. I was working at X-Men at the time, boarding on that. And then met Frank, and one thing led to another. And I come out of comics myself, comic books for Marvel and stuff. And it was much more, in that vein of stuff. The action and the writing was just like, this is really something I want to be a part of.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit, what is a storyboard? What do you do as someone who works on a storyboard?
Basically, as a storyboard artist, you take this written script and interpret it visually. In the old days, it used to be on paper, 3 panels to a page. And we break down the shots visually, pertaining to what's written in the script. Sometimes in the script we have to condense stuff, add things or stuff that's not maybe in between the lines, sort of thing. So there's a lot of creative input and a lot of drawing, which is what I do. So that's what I wanted.
One thing that I love about Gargoyles, and I just kind of started rewatching it in 2024, is that I feel like the artwork has stood up. It's still very relevant. Yeah. And did you know that going into this, that 30 years later, people were still going to be watching this show?
Well, you never know. But again, when I saw the show, saw the model pack, which was all the designs, the styling, it's like this is a cut above kind of thing. And I really was just kind of meeting Frank for lunch. I met him through my director then on X-Men. And he said, yeah, would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, would you be interested? Sort of thing. And I went to show my work to him and his then superior, Tom Ruzicka at Disney. And all of a sudden, I had a job within 2 weeks, and starting in 2 weeks, and I had to go tell my other guys that, leaving. They're like, really? We'd need you for this. And we'd love to have you stay. And it's like, well, it's Disney, it's Gargoyles. So now it's Disney, X-Men, all of it's all in big families sort of thing. So it's kind of funny not having to go bouncing around everywhere.
And what was the selling point? What drew you into, I want to do Gargoyles? This is when, as soon as you heard it, you're like, I'm in.
I've always been a fan of the kind of gothic, darker kind of stuff. Robert E. Howard, Conan, that's where I came out of for comic books and stuff. And again, like Greg was saying, it's pretty adult fare in a lot of cases. And it was like, as long as there's consequences, as he said. And I think that's what's missing with a lot of stuff today. It's just kind of like blah, 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 flashing, look at they're moving and whatever. But there was moral to the story. It still stands up, like you said today. The artwork, specifically, Greg Goulart's designs, I like this stuff,
For sure. And I know a lot of gargoyles, they're on churches and they're protectors. I know when I was doing my research, what is a gargoyle? Right. So how did you incorporate that into artwork?
Well, incorporate the gargoyle.
The gargoyle statues and bringing them to life, like what we would see as a modern day gargoyle on a church today. How did you incorporate that into the cartoon?
Just looking at a lot of, I've been a cinephile all my life, but the old black and white, the Hammers, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, you go right back to the black and whites. A lot of today's kids, they only know the recent stuff, and it's like, go deeper, go into that real stuff that today's stuff is based on, where they're all stealing from. So the gargoyle thing, it was just cool. Straight up, it was just cool. They weren't running around in spandex, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but like I said, I worked at X-Men, so so that's kind of where that comes from as far as the gargoyle.
Well, thank you for taking the time out with us today, and thank you for your work. Like I said, it's standing up 30 years later. It feels good to watch it, and I'm just in awe that it's still standing.
Still very proud to be associated with it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.